Today we're going to be talking about some updates in the Brooke Skylar Richardson case. So Brooke was released early off of her community control sentence. Now originally the sentence was for 3 years, but she ended up only serving 14 months before they let her off early. Now this sentence for Brooke came from the 2019 conviction of abuse of a corpse, and this was in relation to her baby Annabelle. Now those charges ended up being like 5th degree felony charges. And now in court, Brooke actually did speak to the judge very briefly, and one of the things that Brooke said is that, you know, she apologized to everyone for everything that she's put everybody through, and she also recognized that those words might not be enough. Now we're going to talk about some of the things that Brooke has been up to recently, but let's do a quick recap here. Now remember, Brooke was just 18 when she had this baby secretly in the middle of the night in her parents' home, in her home. And she would say later, once this all came to light, when she was basically called, you know, that the baby was stillborn and that she buried the baby in the backyard at her parents' home. Now prosecutors and investigators, they said something totally different. They were like, nope, this is a cold-hearted, you know, narcissistic young lady who did not want to be inconvenienced by this new baby, and so she did the unthinkable and then put the remains in the backyard. Now when this trial was going on, there were so many intense feelings about it. It was like you had one group of people who were just like, you know, Brooke is a stone cold killer, you know, throw away the key. Then you had another group of people that were like, you know, okay, Brooke is a victim herself of like an extremely narcissistic mother, and you know, she was just scared to death to disappoint or upset or do anything wrong with her mother, and she had the stillborn baby and she just, you know, buried the remains in the backyard. Regardless whether people thought she was guilty, not guilty, whatever, most people agreed that there was like some major issues at home that needed to be addressed before moving on in life, specifically with the relationship with her mother and some of the behaviors that we saw coming out. Now in court, Brooke and her attorneys did give us some insight into what she's been doing. So her attorney said, you know what, she's been meeting all the conditions of her community control. You know, she's been working at their office for like 10 hours a week. Now they did say, you know what, she tried to find work outside of that, but you know, number one, she's on probation or community control, and so people weren't down with that. Number two, the stigma. I mean, this kind of created like a huge, not kind of, this was a huge scandal in her town. Remember, Brooke and her family were kind of like the perfect little family, that type thing. Regardless if they came out as perfect or not, this crime, when it happened, rocked the world. I mean, everybody was like, oh my God, especially people locally. So with all the shockwaves from that, people weren't wanting her to be at their job working, and you know, they just kind of ostracized her. Now also we learn in this that Brooke wants to be a lawyer at some point. So again, it would just make sense for her to be working there nonetheless. Now also we find out that she has been in college. She's been maintaining like a 3.8 GPA, which is really good. Now, when she was talking and addressing the judge, she also said, you know what, I've been continuing with my mental health therapy, and while I'm doing much better, I still have a lot of pain inside. And it's really important for her to show everyone, and I'm sure herself, that she can be a normal person again. Now, whatever normal is to her and whatever her new normal will be, because I mean, my God, when you go through a situation like that, you know, guilty, not guilty, whatever, when you go through a situation like that, you're going to be a totally different person. And so I'm sure she's just trying to restructure her life and move forward with, you know, whatever that's going to look like. Now, the paternal grandmother of baby Annabelle was in the courtroom. So, and she has been, you know, not on Brooke's side throughout this whole thing. Basically, she felt like, you know what, the judge could have given Brooke, you know, prison time for this. So she felt like, what is 3 years of community control? You already let her get off easy. The judge said that the community control was a chance for Brooke to show the judge, the court, you know, why that prison sentence, the original prison sentence, did not need to be imposed. And, you know, the judge is like, she showed me. Basically, the judge is like, look, at the end of the day, these are very low-level felonies that she was convicted of, and she's been doing everything right. It is a waste of our time and resources to continue to monitor her. So I'm curious to see what y'all think. You know, in the live chat, we talked about this the other night, and a lot of people felt, kind of were taking that side of, they felt like Brooke, you know, was let's say a victim of her mother, a victim of her situation. You know, they really kind of felt for her and what seemed to be going on in the relationship dynamics with her mother. So I'm curious what y'all think. I really, when this was going on, this case, the comment section, I really enjoyed reading the comments because they were just so all over the place with different opinions. So let me know what you think. Do you think she got off too easy? Do you think she should have been in prison? Do you think that she shouldn't have gotten any time at all? You know, I'm curious to see what y'all have to say. Thank you for watching. Check out the videos that are popping up. I'll talk to you later.